two killer supersets for lower body you don't want to miss. Also, how many leg machines do you guys think I have in my space? Leave a guess below. Follow this video until the end, and I'll show you and tell you how many leg machines I have at the moment. Workout Wednesday, I'm just going to take you through a fun lower body workout, just because I can, just because it's fun, and I'll show you some unique stuff and teach you how to optimally train your lower body. Really loving the current split I'm doing. I've experimented for years, doing kind of a hybrid upper-lower split. Lets me hit my legs more often. I notice a massive difference. Like your sleep, you get crazy good sleep. The growth stimulus is just enormous from training your lower body more frequently. I'm gonna show you two new leg machines that, today that I got recently in my gym. I've actually got a couple more new leg machines coming. You aren't gonna wanna miss some of this cool stuff that I'll show you. New machine number one, I'm gonna start the workout with after I've already done calves. I'm not gonna show you calves. Check this out. Cybex Eagle NX hip abduction adduction. So check this out. The first superset I'm going to show you, we're going to superset this machine to a seated leg curl machine. I kind of held off on buying one of these for a while because I just didn't find one I really liked, and ended up just getting this one. Really impressed with it. But the cool thing, this movement is really going to isolate the adductor longus and brevis, a little bit of magnus, and the pectineus and gracilis. So it's going to complement the next movement I'll show you. It's great to do as sort of a pre-exhaust before you do any heavy squats or hinge movements. But I find this superset here, I'm going to show you in just a second. This is the first part of it, works phenomenally well. But definitely impressed with this machine so far. One of my favorite features is the footprint on it isn't really that big, which is nice. So many of these machines are just absolutely massive. And I love the NX line. I've always been on the fence with a abductor machine. They just take up so much freaking space. I think Medix makes phenomenal machines. I just don't think they're good enough to justify the space of having two separate individual machines. I already used this a handful of times. In my opinion, I think it's the best hip adduction on the market, not only because of its adjustability and space-saving inherent features, but just because it's smooth. You know, the Strive Prime, the back pad's just not adjustable, and the excursion within the movement itself isn't sufficient enough to really make the altering cam worth it. Like, you don't get enough of a difference in the cam movement from the beginning to the end because it's such a short range of motion of a movement that it doesn't really justify, in my opinion, having it, because it's not very versatile, and you can't do both like you can here. Recline this all the way. So just my 2 cents, but impressed with this. The main drawback is the weight stack is kind of low. So I've just been doing controlled holding contractions, but obviously you can use a gym pin for that. I find this movement coupled with the seated leg curl works phenomenally well. So a seated leg curl, as you guys know, it's going to hit very much semi-membranosus, a little bit of adductor magnus, and semi-tendinosus, a little bit of biceps femoris as well. But the entirety of the back of the leg, you're getting blood flow in it. You're getting the tissue warmed up before you're going to do any compound movements. That's the cool thing. These two, I find just these two movements in concert work phenomenally well. This is my Power Plus, Nautilus Power Plus modified seated leg curl. I can't tell you enough things about this. I mean, I've got like 4 other seated leg curls. I haven't used them in forever because they don't even come close to this thing. Because the pre-stretch on this, the cam on this is phenomenal. I advanced the cam, so the cam is absolutely perfect now. And I put a band to get that peak contraction. Otherwise, it has a tendency to sometimes be a smidge too light, which is sometimes you have the opposite problem with seated leg curl machines. It's too heavy at the end where you can't get the full contraction. But the range of motion, the adjustability of the strength curve, in addition to just the comfort and stability this machine offers, like definitely best seated leg curl on the planet, in my opinion. I haven't seen a better one like it. It's just phenomenal machine. Try supersetting these two movements back to back. Instead of doing a posterior chain focus and an anterior chain focus leg day, I've been kind of combining them more recently, and I found a sweet spot on how to do it and not be too much volume. So I really love one-legged leg extensions on the hoist rocket. This machine's perfect for one-legged leg extensions. Obviously, the pre-stretch is lacking, but phenomenal machine for one leg at a time. Despite what people say, it feels fantastic. And the rocket motion, absolutely there's science behind it to take the pressure off your lower back. So the main compound movement is we're going to be doing is this hack, this OEI standing leg press, really more or less a hack squat with shoulder pads in an upright position. So I typically, I do like the tactic of one leg day you do a dominant hip hinge movement, one leg you do a dominant squatting movement. This thing's phenomenal. Like I would take this movement over a traditional hack squat any day of the week. It's just so comfortable. I'm using a wedge here. The problem with this machine is it's so freaking wide, so you can see how I modified it. I put the weight horns above, so that it's long, but it's not crazy wide like the original is. You can stick plenty of weight on there, but this thing's so comfortable. This hits your vastus lateralis better than any other movement I know. It's just crazy. A standing leg press is phenomenal for isolating, all the quad but the vastus lateralis. So I can use this machine in probably 6 to 8 months, and I've kind of been rotating back through it again. I just forgot how good it is. Like sometimes I get fixated on a swing squat or a pendulum squat or, some of my front squat machines. You can only do so many squat movements at a time, but this thing is so good. I don't think people realize how good this machine really is. It gets a bad rap because of its size, because it's so freaking massive, but this modification makes a massive difference just because it's not like 7 feet wide like it is in its original form. But again, this is better than the Body Masters, and I have the Body Masters standing leg press, which is good too, but this is better because of the shoulder pads. The seatbelt helps. The footplate is massive. I'm going to fix the Body Masters LE411. It's going to be awesome. So my second superset, I want you to try. I love supersetting an isolated hamstring movement to a hip hinge or hip extension movement. So we're going to superset a lying prone leg curl to a hip extension movement. So this is the cross-axis tech, one of my many prone leg curls, definitely top 3. Very, very smooth. I love, again, doing the upright with my toes pointed. You have to use less weight, but it's that bottom third you can really nail. Again, this upright position just totally nails it. The leverage on this is so smooth. And again, I love isolated hamstring movements. You got to have more like Nordic curls, prone leg curls. Those types of movements are crucial, I think, just to isolate the hamstrings, and then you superset it to a hip extension. So prone leg curl as opposed to a seated leg curl, you're going to get more biceps femoris, more semitendinosis, as opposed to a seated leg curl, which is more semimembranosus, more adductor. But this is the hip extension. So again, I showed you this recently. This is my modified Bolt hip extension machine. Show me another hip thrust that gives you this much range of motion. Show me one. I don't think there exists one. Again, I'm actually interested in maybe getting my hands on that new NewTek hip thrust. That looks pretty sweet where the feet move, because that actually accentuates the range of motion. But for now, nothing beats this, honestly. The adjustable strength curve is crazy on this too. But notice how I come up through my toes. The peak contraction on this is just absolutely wild, particularly when you overload the beginning. I've got kind of a mix here. I find it works well if you have about 60% on the top, about 20% on the bottom, about 10 to 15% in the middle. But just phenomenally smooth machine. If I could shorten the back pad, it would be absolutely perfect. But the shoulder pads, the handles, it just creates so much stability. Hip thrusts where the back pad does not pivot are just total crap. Like the hammer strength, I do not like that. Like you're looking at back pain. Nothing beats this. So then we're going to superset on this oldie but goodie, this West Side hip and quad. Love this thing. Actually realized I got 6 dedicated Sissy squat machines, 6 of them. I'm going to make a comparison really soon, but this is right up near the top. Show me another machine that allows you to have your hips fully extended in this position. So most people that I see use it don't actually use it this way, but this is the benefit of it under the assist, and then you can just sort of superset to body weight or to traditional Sissy squats. But with the hips extended like that, you're getting this crazy activation of the quads, and you're strengthening your patellar tendons. Like, people don't realize how important Sissy squats are, or Sissy squat movement is to a program for just your tendon health, particularly for athletes. But I find it really strengthens your patellar tendon, and it hits the quads unlike anything else. I'm going to modify this machine soon, which I think is going to make it even better. And then you just kind of superset to just all-out tension with your own body weight, with no rest at the top or pause. Crazy pump. We're going to try, just for kicks, one more movement of a new piece I just got a couple weeks ago. I kind of pseudo been looking for this secretly for a while. I missed out on this machine about 2 years ago from another equipment buddy who sold it. Again, you guys in the U.S. know these are very hard to find on the used market, extremely rare. But I kind of lucked out and found this. I've been impressed with it so far. This is the Panatta Super Leg Press Bridge. I love leverage leg presses. So this will probably complete my leverage leg press collection, although I do have one more, excuse me. I got another one coming, which I'm super stoked about. But this thing's cool. The footprint is large, but it's so smooth. I mean, the Cybex is not even, I mean, everyone raves about the Cybex, but I don't think it comes close to this, even after my first initial use. The issue is the foot plate could be improved. I took off the stoppers. I'll show you in here a second what I did. Took off the stoppers to increase the range of motion. Look at how, I want you to look at how much knee flexion I can get. So obviously the foot plate biases hip flexion normally as the Cybex, but you can bias knee flexion by using a wedge and keeping your feet super low. So I might modify this, I might not, I'm not sure, but super impressed with this so far. Now, those of you guys that have this machine, first thing I want you to do right away, I've only used it twice in RGC, take this little rubber stopper off. You lose about 2 inches of range of motion at the bottom. Just take it off. Phenomenally smooth, phenomenally smooth. I thought the pink would kind of clash, but I kind of like the pink. Just add a variety of colors into the gym. It's this constant quandary to whether I want to, this is such a beautiful aesthetic foot plate, but it could be so much better. So it's like this quandary internally, whether I just try to leave it and deal with it, use wedges, or do I want to make the foot plate perfect, which would make it a 10 out of 10 machine. In addition to manipulating the strength, so I feel great, not too overburdened, hit every major part of the lower body, honestly, and I feel very refreshed. How many leg machines do I have? Again, not a competition in my view. I'll never be like Mark at Madhouse or some of these other guys that have just massive space, but I would challenge anyone in a private gym setting to have as versatile and broad of a selection as I have in as small a space as I have. So check this out. I counted 85 dedicated lower body leg machines. 2 more on the way, and 1 or 2 more that I'd like to get in the future. So sauna in here, guys. So it's kind of nice. You get the effect of the sauna, sweat. So honestly, if and when I start to monetize this and I have people here, I'm almost thinking about building a whole separate building behind my existing building just to have a dedicated section only for legs. It'll free up more space for other machines, but I'd love to have a dedicated like 4,000 square foot, 5,000 of just all legs. You know what you guys think? Like, comment, subscribe below. Have an amazing day.